Hey everybody, it's Eric over at Breakthrough Broker. We are Jimmy's getting in right now, so we have another exciting marketing session with Jimmy Mackin. Please tell me where you're calling in from today, everybody, and Jimmy's hopping on right now. So welcome, welcome. What's up, buddy? Happy
Hey, Eric, good to see you, man.
happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
You traveling?
I'm actually at a co-working space here in downtown Boston.
Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, hello, Evan. Gerard is in Queens. We've got Scott in SoCal. I'm in Costa Rica right now. Jimmy's in Boston right now. Welcome, everybody. Jimmy, Alicia, what's up? Jimmy, we got all the letters you sent up on the site, so we're ready to rock and roll.
I love it. Well, this is gonna be a quick session because we know it's the holidays. We know you guys are busy, and Eric and I really appreciate you guys jumping on with us. Do me a favor, real quick, in the chat. Let me know: are you planning on investing more money in direct mail in 2026? Give me a yes in the chat right now. Do you plan on spending more money? Do you plan on expanding your farm, creating a new farm, opening up additional farms? And you can just see the yeses pouring in right now. I love it. One of the things that's really interesting is when I think about direct mail, there is no better, easier, faster way for an agent to get now business than using direct mail. And one of the things that I tell a story because I fell in love with this idea. I'm a digital marketer. I run a company called Listing Leads. We are the sort of premier solution in the space of helping agents attract more listings. And one of the things that jumped out to me is I had a client of mine, Gretchen Coley, who reached out to me who said, Jimmy, hey, I want to send a mailer out to my farm. And at the time, this is many years ago, I didn't actually do any direct mail marketing at all. I always kind of felt like it was old, tired stuff. And so I agreed to it reluctantly. I wrote a letter campaign. We sent it out to about 2,300 doors. And within 30 days of sending that campaign out, she secured $5 million in listings. And from that moment on, I have become a huge fan and believer and advocate of direct mail. But you got to do it the right way. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Eric's going to go ahead and approve that request for me. And I'm going to give you a little bit of a state of the union on what I'm seeing right now as it relates to like direct mail marketing and how you can leverage it for your business. Today, we're going to focus primarily on expired listings. Now, I want to set the stage here because this is really important. I've helped thousands of agents generate listings in the last 12 months from expired listing marketing. Now, back in 23, I predicted that we were going to see a massive rise in the number of expireds. I thought that we were going to see this sort of huge increase, not because the market was softening. In fact, the market's gotten a little bit better since 23, but because the days on market has increased. And actually, you got to let me know in the chat right now. You can just drop a W in the chat. Has your days on market increased in the last 24 months? Have you seen an increase in the number of days on market? Just drop a W in the chat for us right now. Because what I'm seeing is I'm seeing a massive uptick in the number of homes that are sitting on the market. We saw some data from this yesterday. Approximately 1 in 4 homes right now are expiring. That means for every listing that hits the market, one of them is going to basically spark. It's going to be another agent's opportunity. To put that in perspective, back in 2020, we probably had on January 1st, we probably had like less than 50,000 homes expire on January 1st. January 1st of this year, 2026, they're predicting, and I was just on a call with David Childers, who got some great data on expired. They're predicting 185,000 homes are going to expire. To put that in perspective, that's like a $4.3 billion jump in the total available commission. So I'm here to say that expired listings, and part of the reason why Listing Leads we partner with Breakthrough Broker is because expired listings is a massive, massive value add. So, but if you're going to do expired listing marketing, there are really important concepts here. You have to cover the 3 hurdles, and I'm going to walk you through this. This is super important. If you want to get actual results from direct mail from expired listings, there are 3 hurdles you have to cover. The first hurdle is going to be empathy. Do they understand my situation? Whatever your marketing is, door knocking, texting, calling, mailing, you have to communicate in a really clear and compelling way. Do they understand my situation? So, from your perspective, the basic idea here is very simple. You want to put yourself in a position where whatever your communication plan is, you are clearly and effectively communicating the fact that you are going to help them achieve their goals and that you understand the situation. Number two, the second hurdle you're going to have to overcome is credibility. Now, I'll give you a quick pro tip. In the chat right now, let me know. You can put a W or an N. Have you sold more than 100 homes in your career? Just a W in the chat right now. If the answer is no, just put an N in the chat. Have you sold more than 100 homes in your career? So we get a mixed bag, right? We got some people who, yes, absolutely, W, 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 N, 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 N. Okay. So let me give you a quick tip. If you have not sold a lot of homes, let's say you're relatively new to real estate, maybe you're building your pipeline, maybe you're kind of just like you're a few years in, or maybe you kind of like have always averaged like 3 to 5 transactions a year. Well, if you're going to build credibility, you need to roll it up. So if I'm Tim Smith in Newport, California, and I've sold $6 billion in real estate, I'm just going to say, hey, I sold $6 billion in real estate. But if I am, let's say in this case, Audrey, who says, I wish, I'm going to say, Audrey, can we look at your team that you belong to and highlight all the homes they have sold? Can we look at your broker and look at all the homes they have sold? So you want to use borrowed credibility if you don't have a long reputation. So I might say, hey, I'm Aubrey James. I work with Remax in Cincinnati, Ohio. Our office has sold $16 billion in real estate, and that was just in the last 36 months. The reason I'm reaching out to you, blah, blah, blah. So like I'm gonna use my team or my broker staff to communicate my credibility. And the third hurdle you're gonna have to overcome is going to be clarity. This is important. So if I communicate empathy, hey, I understand the situation that you're currently in right now. I work with a lot of agents or a lot of consumers who are in this situation as well. There's a couple options you have available, but this is what I'm thinking is the best plan for you. Can I establish credibility? I've sold a lot of houses in my career. My team has sold a lot of houses in their career. My broker has sold a lot of houses in their career. And then finally, can I provide them a clear plan? What is the next steps? Okay, now that you've convinced me that you're the right agent to work with, what does the next steps look like? Now, I'm going to give you the perfect expired marketing blueprint. And I want you to take a screenshot of this because there are 185,000 homes expiring on January 1. I call it the Black Friday of real estate. That's $4.3 billion in commission. And actually, I gotta ask this question in the chat. Would 2 additional listings per month change your your business? Would that be a material change? Just put a W in the chat. Would that be a material change to your business? 2 additional listings, going from where you are today to 2 additional listings. And just look at the yeses coming in. And I know we got some players on today's call, people who are selling a lot of houses, but while a lot of people are saying, yep, 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 okay. So here's the deal. You can do a lot of things to attract customers. You can do a lot of things to attract new business. Social media, email, direct mail, texting, calling, videos. Nothing, and I mean nothing, is as straightforward as expired listings. Here's the plan that we put together for you. Now, we have something called the Cannonball, which I'm actually just going to spend the majority of my time that I have with you today on the Cannonball. But this is a 45-day expired listing plan. So the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to talk to your title rep or you can talk to a data provider and you're going to get a list every single day, a list of any homes that have expired in your area. So the first kind of SOP you have to put in place is you have to have a really strong process around getting any homes that expire. Just like every day you're getting expired. And then what you're going to do is you're going to put these expired listings on a campaign to send out a series of letters and make a series of phone calls. Now, a lot of my clients I work with typically track this through their CRM or they can use a spreadsheet, which is equally fine. I mean, you're not, the thing is, if you got 15, 20 expires in your area every week, it's not that many listings for you to follow up with. And if you don't have that much business, you get plenty of time to execute against this. But the big thing here is number one, you have to have a list. You have to have a rely. And I'd make a note of this. We live in a world where everyone can get the answer to anything in a matter of a prompt. So number one is you've got to have a process around getting a fresh list of expires every single day, or at least the minimum every single week. The second thing is you're going to want to make sure you have a data provider, a letter provider who can actually send these letters out for you. Part of the reason why we partner with Breakthrough Broker is you see letter number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They can automate all of that, which is critically important. And Eric will talk more about that in today's session. I'm going to give you the letters, but you're probably going to want to automate some of this. Eric's going to teach you how to get that dialed in. But this is the script. Now, here's what we're going to spend our time on. This concept called the cannonball. How many of you, just in the chat, let me know, how many of you have read the book Good to Great by Jim Collins? Just give me a, this is like a streamer, right? Give me a W in the chat right now. How many of you have read the book Good to Great by Jim Collins? Okay. So this is going to be my homework for you. Every single person who's on today's call, Marquita, Lavina, uh, you got to read this book. Good to Great is one of the best. I call it, it's like a standard book you have to read in business. In the book, Jim Collins talks about this concept called fire bullets, then cannonballs. And the basic idea behind it is if you are trying to explore new ideas, you try a bunch of things. But then once something works, you put all of your effort into it. The book is called Good to Great by Jim Collins. And so the idea of a cannonball is putting all your effort into a marketing campaign that you know is going to work. Now, I'll give you a quick pro tip. If you want to get more listings, you have to make the first impression the best impression. So let me show you what this looks like. Within listing leads, and by the way, every letter here that you see, every letter here is part of the expired marketing blueprint. So we have basically 11 letters for you to send out. And so I'm gonna give you an example of this. I think it's important just to sort of see what this looks like. So here's the example of the first letter that goes out. It says, "Dear Eric, your house is not the problem. Last month, 16 homes between X and Y sold in Auburn, New Hampshire. Yours should have been one of them. Right now, one of two things is true. You're ready to move forward with a new plan, or you're exhausted and frustrated and your phone hasn't stopped ringing. Either way, the next few weeks are important. Homes that relaunch with a new plan tend to gain momentum quickly and often sell more than anticipated. I know that's hard to believe. And homes that wait or don't change their strategy, usually compete against more inventory and get less attention and have additional holding costs. I'm going to reach out from my phone number 55555 to go over everything. In the meantime, if you have any questions, call me directly. P.S. You might decide to go with a different direction. That's okay. Even if we don't end up working together, I'd be a terrible realtor if I didn't reach out and ask and at least try to be helpful. This is the first letter that you're going to send out as part of the expired marketing blueprint. So again, just to be clear, because we're not going to go over every single letter today, we have created all the copy for you. Every letter, every call script, everything is available within Breakthrough Broker. What I want to leave you with here today, because we want to be respectful of your time before I pass the mic back to Eric, is this is the exact blueprint. Expired listings can add 2 listings to your business every month if you follow this plan. But you have to first have a process around getting the list. Second, have an SOP around basically getting these mailer campaigns out the door. And third, be willing to pick up the phone and be helpful. We're not trying to sell anybody. These people need a good agent. They need an agent who cares. They need an agent that can help. So I don't want you to think about this in the context of like, I'm trying to sell somebody. Rather, I want you to think about it in the concept of, hey, I want to be able to just help this person. Even if they hire me or don't hire me, I just want to be the most helpful agent I possibly can be. Now, I got to ask you in the chat right now, how many of you in the chat right now want to be able to automate the follow up here with letters? Just hit a W in the chat right now. How many of you just like, hey, I love this idea. I love the campaigns. I love everything you're teaching me here right now, but I want to be able to like automate as much of this as humanly possible. Okay. Yeah. I mean, look at the W's coming in right now. So Eric, why don't we take a moment here and look at Audrey? Like that's like 7 W's. I love it. Eric, why don't I pass the mic back to you as we wrap here today and just talk about how they can automate this with Breakthrough Broker? Because I want every single person, by the way, if you're not using Breakthrough Broker, it is absolutely lights out the best solution in the market. You guys have to use this tool because one thing they have that I love, and it's probably their killer feature, is the ability to automate these campaigns. So Eric, why don't you walk through this with everybody?
Yep, I'm going to show you guys, hello everybody. I'm going to show you guys on Breakthrough Broker where you'd be able to go. What we're going to do is you're going to find it in the marketing center. And then on the left-hand side, you'll see some of our marketing bundles. And you'll go to either listing leads. And I want my team to chime in. Liz, can you chime in on the chat, please? Exactly where these will be. And then, so you'll go under the listing leads content and you'll see it in two places. This is always what Jimmy talks about, is always in listing leads content. And this will be in the expired listing series. And all of these new letters will be in here by the end of today. When we email you the copy of this recording, you'll have links to all of these, but you can also go down to our expired listings bundle as well. And inside the expired listings bundle, you'll be able to find everything we talked about today. We're working on automating it. So what's really cool is today, everything will be ready for you to individually send. In a week or two, everything Jimmy just showed you will be in an automated version. And in the automated version, we'll have a list of however many letters there were. How many letters were there today? 6 letters, I think. So those 6 letters will be placed on a cadence. So when you go to your MLS and you find an expired listing, you can upload that into the one address if you want. You can upload in there, and this will go out on a cadence. That cadence might be every week. It might be whatever Jimmy's recommendations on cadence will be. Those will be automated and they'll go out every week, every other week, so that you can communicate with an expired listing all the different scripts that are provided by Jimmy. Jimmy, did I miss anything there?
No, I think it's a really important thing. So, again, like Eric and I try to put these calls on for you once a month, and we turn them into lightning sessions, so you guys have all the information you need. But what I'm telling you right now is, on January 1st, you are going to have this jump ball opportunity, and if you are trying to add 2 to 3 additional listings to your pipeline every month, there is no better option than expired listings. And because we partner with Breakthrough Broker, and because they have all the scripts, all you have to do is just get trained up in the system and you can automate this entire process of following up. So Taylor from the team does an amazing job, who's been incredibly helpful in our partnership. She'll make sure that you get everything you need to get dialed in here. But I wanted to say, on a personal note, I mean, these calls have been incredibly exciting. So we've seen so many people jump on these things and be here every single month. So we appreciate you guys showing up, trying to get better, trying to improve. We want to be as helpful as we possibly can. And Eric and I and the whole team at Breakthrough Broker and Listing Leads are wishing everyone here a wonderful holiday season and hopefully getting you guys prepared to have an amazing 2026. So thank you so much for being a part of today's session, and we will see you in the new year.
Thanks, everybody. And we'll keep doing these with Jimmy next year. So these are great lightning sessions, amazing marketing tidbits. So we appreciate it, buddy. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Talk soon, everybody.